Great Dixter is a joyous garden. It's got this medieval manor house in the centre of it, and it's the home of the late Christopher Lloyd. And with that, we remain a place that's dynamic, experimental, inquisitive, where we protect skill levels and try and create this really wonderful garden that's full of colour and intimacy. Christopher was born here in 1921, and he was very keen on gardening from an early age. He gardened alongside his mother. His mother was keen on William Robinson and that semi-naturalistic style of gardening. Both felt that they had the infrastructure to play within. So these strong hedges, the buildings and the topiary pieces gives Dixter those strong bones. And then within that you can be as informal as you wish. So within this framework that we've got, we carry on with that theme of experimentation laid down by Christopher. It's just got the whole range of plants and life cycles within Dixter, which makes it a very rich garden, but also it's rich visually, it's rich in terms of feeling, but it's also rich in terms of biodiversity, because it's got one habitat after another, from porous buildings to dead wood standing, to the hedgerows, to the meadow areas, the scrubby areas full of blackthorn and bramble and those sort of things, to coppice woodlands that have that mosaic system, to short grass and long grass together, and those highly rich borders that provide a food source over a long period. One of the things that I like most about Dixter are these multi-layered communities that we have of these borders, which mimic what goes on in the wild. It mimics what goes on in grassland, where we have one plant taken over by another, taken over by the grass, and then the grasses then take over. Or the same sort of thing happens in a woodland situation, where you may have anemones first and bluebells next, and the woodland closes in over the top. Your mainstay are shrubs that give you the bones. Then you've got your perennials that give you the main display. And then you've got the bulbs that come up through your perennials and give you a different season. But in some parts of Dixter, we've got not 3 layers, we've got 5, 6, 7 layers. So it may start with something like an early snowdrop that flowers first. And the snowdrop is then accompanied by hellebores. Then the primroses come, and at the same time as the primroses are coming, the daffodils come up and flower with the primroses. And as the daffodils are flowering, you may have a little scilla that self-sows within that space. It may be something like Scilla bithynica that covers the ground, and then the Euphorbia robiae is flowering at the same time. So that's another flush of interest. And then as the Euphorbia robiae is in full flower, the daffodils are finished, the lily of the valley comes up and flowers. And along with lily of the valley, Allium neapolitanum. And then through all of that come ferns and things like veratrums that take over the whole scene. Then that sees us through right the way through till November. The frosts come, all the perennials collapse to the ground, and up comes the autumn flowering snowdrops, which then give us a show in December. And that's a really complex layered system where one plant copes with another. They don't live in complete dynamic equilibrium, but they cope with each other, and it gives you a closed unit that is low maintenance, because you don't have to go in there and dig it out and put new plants in. It just keeps itself going, but it gives you an extraordinarily long period of interest. Some people feel the higher the maintenance within a border, the more you play with it, the more joy you get out of it. But of course that depends on your circumstances, because people have got full-time jobs or they've got other commitments, and so they can't always spend the time in the garden. But because the system is flexible, you can create a border that just suits your needs. And so you can still have something that's long season, that's low maintenance. Dixter's always been a pioneering place where we break the rules or make new rules. Of course, we obey the rules of ecology, which is very important, but we always constantly striving ahead to try and find a new thing, that new bit of information, new experiment, new way of using a plant or a different plant and so on. So it's a unique place that's always, always exciting.